Great to have you with us. Could you tell me a little bit about Labrakita marketing and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So I currently it's just me, but looking to expand at some point. I am a marketing consultant, and I work with customers in three main ways. I work with them. I as a virtual marketing manager for clients who simply just don't have the time to do the marketing management themselves. I have clients where I just work with them on a project by project basis. There's a specific marketing project they need to get done and they need expert help. So
Sure.
that could be a website, it could be that they need to redo their brochures, it could be anything marketing related. Or other clients, especially the much smaller clients, startups and your one-man bands, I help them to put together their brand and their marketing plan, and then they go out and do it themselves. So that's
Great.
the three main strands that I've got.
Love it. Excellent. And what was your before? What kind of problems were you facing? You mentioned just before the call, time aspects. What was your workflow like before, and what problems were you seeing in your workflow that you needed an extra pair of hands with?
It was just getting really busy for me personally, and also I'm really, I can do copywriting, there's social media, there's plenty of things I can do myself, and I'm obviously marketing strategy is the core of what I do. I'm not an expert in other areas, so I work with external resources, including UDrafter and freelancers to deliver what I need. And recently it's been getting especially busy, and I wasn't so good at getting my own content done. That's where it's really helped me to get to really concentrate on my clients.
That's great. And why did you think you needed an intern specifically?
Two things really. One, I know an English student in particular for what I'm working on at the moment, for example. I knew an English student would be really good at getting something like the editing work that I'm getting done. And they can probably do it a lot quicker than I can. I'm much better at writing copy than I am editing text. And the second thing is, I was a student once. I was very lucky to get office work, which really helped me when it came to finding a job.
Yeah.
It was much tougher for my other half, who'd done work as a student, but we're talking about your typical student jobs that come with money but not experience. So I want to help someone out really, so that when they graduate, they've got not just they've not just been able to help fund themselves, they've also got relevant experience that will help them when they graduate to find a job.
Absolutely, that's great. And had you worked with interns before you came to UDrafter?
No. I work with well, I've worked at various companies where we've had people come in for work experience and that kind of thing. We've had a few paid interns, but I'd never done it directly before for my own business.
Okay. And how were you sort of feeling before? You haven't done it for your own business before. What was that like?
It's a very simple system. You can find, I was amazed actually just how many students applied, and that there's so many with so many really good skills, and some have already built up that experience with some micro internships already. So sometimes it's really hard to choose.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really easy process, and it's you need a little bit more oversight than you do with experienced freelancers. So you've got to bear that in mind, because you're going going to be checking work more than you would be someone who's been doing it for some years. But it's worth it. I think I couldn't do it for every single thing that I do. There's things where I'm going to need to work with someone who's got that experience. But there are always going to be little things here and there where a micro internship, I think, is probably a really good way of going about it.
That's great. And what was the sort of return on your investment into a UDrafter intern? You touched on a few different things already, but how did it sort of help you get these extra bits done to help you focus on other things?
Yeah, I mean, it just frees up my time. It means, yes, return on investment means I can spend my time earning money by working for my clients. That's the return on investment, you know. My time, my time is worth more than the hours I was spending editing text, walls of text coming out of video interviews I was doing with people for my own content. That's the biggest advantage for me at the moment.
Yeah, that's a really resonates with me, because we were using UDrafter as well to do similar things as you, so that's really cool. And why a software or website online service like UDrafter compared to maybe a third party or traditional ways that you'd maybe normally find a student or a graduate?
Well, I'll be honest, it's the only way I've gone about it personally, but I imagine it's quite hard to, I mean, that's such an easy platform to use, whereas if you're, you know, approaching universities or going to careers, it's going to be a bit more hit and miss, I should think. Mm-hmm. Whereas with UDrafter, you can say exactly what it is you're after. And students can find you more easily, I'm sure, by using that kind of system where they can search for people who are after their skills.
Yeah.
Or the people on the type of degree that they're on.
And what would you do? What would you say? Describe your experience working on UDrafter, working with us, and what area do you think you got the most value out of it?
I would describe it as very, very, very easy system to use. It's the platform is just fantastic, and the support, and it's just the simplicity of it, I think. And yeah, the value I get out of it is two things. I feel like I'm doing something good. I'm helping someone out. I know it makes me feel good inside, but it also really does free up my time, which, as I said, is more valuable to me. I can charge. It's then chargeable time that I can use instead.
Yeah, totally understand what you're saying. And final couple of questions. How likely would you be to recommend us, and why should someone who could be listening to this right now, why should they take action?
Yeah, so if you've got, if you're spending time on something that is not, not something that necessarily someone that has an awful lot of experience needs to be doing. If it's something that, just someone who's studying a particular field could do for you, your time is probably spent better on something else.
Yeah.
As I said, sometimes often you are going to need that person with all that experience. That's not always going to be the case. So if you've got those sorts of jobs on your plate that's taking you too much time, and you could be better spent getting on with something else, why not think about using a student?
Amazing. Great.
And paying them, which I think is a really important part of UDrafter, because I think it aligns with my morals, because I think it's wrong to use students, and then you end up with a situation where only students who happen to have wealthy parents and can afford to work for free end up with relevant experience. I think that's wrong.